Hey, true believers. Chris Matt coming at you with Justice League number 33. This is the finale of Bats Out of Hell. And for what this was, it was an entertaining read. We'll get more into that. There were some disappointing moments, but overall I did enjoy the series, and I liked how all the covers connected. Like the last one we went over was Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, so you can kind of see where the cover connected there. Very cool thing. I wanted to connect them all, but I already put all my books away, and I'm not going to go digging through the long boxes. So with that said, let's dive into this. So the primary point of this book, I think, was to highlight the evil Batman in the Prime universe, because all the one-shots were absolutely phenomenal. So as we've gone through each one, we've seen how the Drowned beat Aquaman, the Red Death beat Flash, Dawnbreaker beating Hal, and what's his name? The Merciless beating Wonder Woman. And he's talking about, how when he first joined the Justice League, how he felt intimidated by everybody. But he said that, this is the Batman Who Laughs that's talking, and he's saying that he began to realize after so many missions that his superpowered counterparts, their powers were essentially just like guns used by criminals. And that's where we open up. And he says, where'd it go? Here it is. So I was like, where the hell? And we open up to a gorgeous splash page. And he says, after realizing that the superhero's powers were like a gun, saying the Justice League are a superstitious and cowardly lot. So kind of like wah-wah, but at the same time kind of an interesting use of Batman's motto of why he became what he is. Now, before we go any further, let's talk about who made the book. This is Joshua Williamson writing, Tyler Kirkham and Mikael Yennin doing the art, Eric Pratano and Jeremy Cox doing the colors, Richard Starkings and Comicraft and Jimmy Beirut doing letters, Ethan Van Sciver and Jason Wright doing the cover. Here's everyone else working on the book. And just a really gorgeous, you see the League here in the corner being hauled off by the Murder Machine, the Dawnbreaker and the Red Death kind of standing watch. Same with the Merciless and the Devastator. Just good stuff. He's hooking them up to Challenger's Mountain. He wants to hook them up to the Tuning Fork, which, if you want to know what the Tuning Fork is, read Metal. It has a lot to do with opening the Dark Multiverse in the Prime world. And of course, Vic, Cyborg, is kind of the key to all of this. He begins to realize that they're wanting to harvest something from him called Element X, which is the mother box inside of him. And at first, I was like, oh God, this is going to be a lot of reading. But what it is it's the mother box telling him that he needs to essentially give up his humanity and join with the mother box in order to harness the power of the Prime Universe, 52 multiverse, not the Dark Multiverse, but just the regular multiverse. And I like the use of these splash pages to kind of emphasize what's going on. Just very great work. And I like how Snyder really utilized a lot of Grant Morrison's multiversity. That's, if you noticed in a lot of his books, you see like either the evil Robin's running around with like a little manual, and you'll see Grant Morrison's multiversity map on it. The same thing with issue 1 of Metal. So that was kind of an interesting way to take Grant Morrison's designs and kind of help with what they were wanting to do when they rebooted, what do you call it? What's this stuff we're reading? Comics. rebooting the DC multiverse with Rebirth, the New 52, etc., so forth. And at first, as I just said, I'm like, wow, this is a lot of reading. But again, it goes somewhere. It's not a nothing burger. It really shows Vic's humanity. And I don't want to give it away what happens and what he decides to do. But the choices that he makes the right choices instead of, Instead of kind of giving into everything. Given into the mother box, essentially. And we get this gorgeous splash page here again to emphasize that Vic's new and improved, but now he's part mother box, part human. And again, I don't want to give away the dialogue that makes him choose what he's going to choose, but it's a really cool idea. And then I'm a little disappointed that any solo book that he's done has not lasted. There was one during this time, I cannot remember the guy's last name, Kevin something or other. He was the guy that played the big beefy dude in Underworld as one of the Lycans. And his run was really, really entertaining, and it was only like 6 or 7 issues, and I'm like, oh, come on. It could have kept going. It would have been great. And another part, we'll get into that in a second. One of the parts, again, where I said there's parts where I said that fall flat. So he frees the Justice League, and the Batman Who Laughs goes, what is that music? I'm blasting my theme song through my speakers. I play it whenever I want to get the team pumped up when the ball was on the 1-yard line. Hike. I guess. But, Vic was a football player, so his analogies always go back to football. But I don't know. I feel like after we get that gorgeous splash page with Vic, there should have been like maybe a scene of him busting the league loose and then just seeing them kick ass. But it kind of gets a little bogged down with dialogue here. And then we get like, okay, we're going to get some action. I mean, look at this. This gets you pumped up. You're like, damn, we're going to get some more action. This is going to be awesome. We're going to get some fighting. And then it goes back to talking. Now, what I was talking about in terms of wanting to get into, there's a moment where he has to free Raven. Raven in this rebooted DC universe is part of the Teen Titans, just like she's always been. And she's been taken prisoner. They want to utilize her just like how they wanted to utilize Vic. They wanted to use the darkness that she's from. I cannot remember I don't remember if it's supposed to be hell or what's the dimension that she's from and that her father rules. If you guys can remember, let me know down in the comments. And what hit me right in the feels was actually seeing Vic and Raven embrace. Right there for a second, I was like feeling Marv Wolfman and George Perez era Teen Titans. And that's one thing that's kind of killed me. Like, I like to see how Vic has stepped up and is part of the Justice League now, to see him mature. But at the same time, I miss the old school days of Marv Wolfman and George Perez when Cyborg was kind of one of the leaders of the Titans along with Robin and Corey. But now it's like there's not that relationship that there used to be where they were close like brother and sister. And I miss those eras. There's just, so many retcons. It's sort of diluted what the Teen Titans initially were. I mean, I like how Robin has taken it over, but I miss what Wolfman and Perez did back in the 80s. And that's why that was such a high-selling book, is because, again, like Claremont, it was a character-driven drama with action. And I miss seeing these two working together. Now, again, I'm hoping for more fighting, more action, and we get more talk. Because, again, as I was talking about in Death Metal, where I said all the big things should happen in your event book, not in the offshoot books. I think Snyder and Capullo had that concept with Metal, and it shows like all the big stuff happens in Metal, and so they couldn't really do a whole lot with this. This was just kind of a tie-in. So you get to see more with the evil Batman. You kind of see what happens with Task Force X, the Teen Titans, etc., so forth. So they have to set up how these heroes get reconnected with Dr. Fate and whatnot, and how they all of them. I think it's issue 4 of Metal where you see like Aquaman working with Slade, Mr. Terrific and Hal working together to get Plastic Man. All that happens in Metal, but this sets it up. So that's, again, your tie-in should set up for your main book. And I wish that Capullo and Snyder would have taken a moment, breathed during Death Metal, looked back at what they did on this initial run, and saw, oh, hey, all our big stuff happened in our main book. And that did not happen in Death Metal. And I think that's why, again, a lot of fans are just kind of on the fence about that event. But again, on the same token, it would have been nice to see more action. Yes, there's a lot of dramatic moments, some really nice character-driven drama. But again, you have to have like at least a little bit of action, not just one splash page. I mean, look at this, talking exposition. I want to see more of this. Because you know, as the finale, you want to see these dark Batman getting taken out. And as I've stated, I don't recall seeing the evil Batman in the Prime Metal book that much, other than when they were first revealed, and then we get the one-shots. So it'd been neat after, you know, they took 3 issues to show how the Justice League gets taken out by each of them fighting their evil counterparts. It would have been interesting to see them finally get defeated, because, you know, you see like Cyborg going up, well, he goes up against the Murder Machine, but like you see Wonder Woman taking out the Red Death. And, you know, that's, if you can't beat someone that's equal to you, you always want to switch up your opponent. So you see like Hal taking on the Drowned, you see Aquaman taking a fight with the Merciless. So that way you kind of get that X factor in. So overall, the Bad Side of Hell, it was an interesting concept, and it doesn't give too much away. Like, if you didn't read these, it doesn't really deter from the Prime Metal book, which I'm thankful for, because that's all I read. And just in reading those, it made sense. And then these, it just, again, just kind of enhanced it. And that's what tie-in books should do, is it should enhance your main book. And that's, again, why Death Metal chapped my butt. So seeing Cyborg shine in this issue, and how he wants to keep his humanity, but also wants to save the world, that's what really made this book overall interesting. But once, you know, that part ends and we get into the next arc of the book, it would have been nice to see all those evil Batmen get their asses kicked. So it is what it is. I would recommend it, especially if you really enjoyed Metal, which I did. I enjoyed Metal. Death Metal, not so much. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen in this comic book, please first and foremost support your local comic shop and go get the whole arc. If you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little bat bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love to talk with you all and hear your feedback down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.